Hi, I'm Mark Tilley, and welcome back to Dirtbike Magazine's video series Premix, where it's all two-strokes all the time. Today, we're getting our first chance to ride the all-new Beta 300 RX. Now, this is Beta's first introduction into the motocross market, and they decided to do it with a 300cc two-stroke, and we couldn't be happier. This is Beta's first factory-built motocross bike. It's actually a bike we've thought about building ourselves many times because we always thought that the Beta 300RR off-road bike would make a good motocross bike. Beta has had a factory motocross team on their minds for a long time. They currently have an MXGP team riding on a pre-production four-stroke. That project's in the works, and we hear that in the next couple years, they'll be bringing that to the United States. That project's in the works, but the Beta 300 RX two-stroke is here now. If you're familiar with the Beta 300RR off-road bike, you're already somewhat familiar with the 300RX model. In its off-road configuration, it has Sachs suspension at both ends, oil injection, and a very smooth power delivery. Now, in order to go moto, it was stripped down, given longer legs for more firepower. It lost the oil injection and lighting, then got a different head and crank. The Keihin carb was upsized from a 36mm to a 38mm, and the suspension was reconfigured. It got a different version of the Sachs shock in the rear with more travel. Up front, the Sachs fork was traded for a KYB closed cartridge unit, also with more travel. It still has elements from its off-road background, like the electric starter, a 6-speed gearbox, a 2.5-gallon tank, and handguards. It got a number of accessory upgrades as well, like a little tidbits of bling from the Race Edition line, a Super Sprox rear sprocket, Michelin Starcross tires with a 19-inch rear. If you aren't familiar with Beta motorcycles, you'll be impressed with the standard stuff. It has a diaphragm clutch with Brembo hydraulics, Nissan brakes, machine triple clamps, push button seat removal, and side access airbox. We drained the fuel tank on the 300RX, and on the Dirtbike Magazine scales, it tips those scales at about 230 pounds. The projected weight of the 2023 KTM fuel-injected model motocross bikes is speculated to be about the same amount. So they're right in there with what their competition is doing. After riding and racing the 300 for a few weeks now, we gotta say, we're pretty impressed. Honestly, we didn't come into this with high expectations. Beta is an off-road company, and it seems this is pretty far out of their wheelhouse, but they really got it right, especially in the motor department. The 300RX has one of the sweetest two-stroke motors we've ever tested. First, there's outright power. It's fast. Maybe not 454-stroke fast, but easily as powerful as any stock 250cc two-stroke on the market today. The only other 300cc two-strokes we have for comparison as of right now are either off-road bikes or overboard 250s, and the Beta easily outperforms both of those configurations. In truth, the engine is smooth enough, it would probably make a great off-road bike. For us, there was nothing really surprising about the Beta's overall handling. Like we said, we're familiar with the 300RR, and this has the same frame. It's an easy steering bike with good straight line stability, not far removed from the modern KTM. The RX increased suspension travel results in a tall seat height and moves up the center of gravity slightly compared to the off-road model. Beta tried to compensate with this with a super thin seat that we're not a huge fan of, but the bike is still taller than the typical Japanese or Austrian two-stroke model. Beta 300 RX has a MSRP of right around $9,000. The fact that Beta's first real attempt at making a motocross bike is successful right out of the box is pretty incredible, and we can't wait to see what they do in the future. So now that Beta has the 300cc two-stroke motocross model, there is more 300cc motocross models coming from other manufacturers. So stay tuned to our YouTube channel, our Instagram channel, and our website. You might see some comparison videos popping up and maybe even a shootout toward the middle of 2023. If you got a little bit more time on your hands and you want to check out some other two-stroke models, hit the video thumbnail now. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We got a lot of videos coming out almost daily, and we want everybody to stay up to date with our latest releases. So hit that subscribe button.